I appreciate you. Dude, by the way, Amanda, I'm like looking at your shoulders right now. They're fucking ripped. Let's put that on the recording. You're like leaning over and I could just see your muscle, like her muscles in the back of her arm. I was like, yeah. Oh, it's exciting. Nothing like watching your family get freaking fit. Seriously. My sister has been killing it lately. My mom's been back in the game. My cousin. Like, it's super fun to like coach in general and like watch people get healthy, but there's just like that extra satisfaction when it's like a family member. I don't know why, but there just is.
So I need your guys' help. So my older sister, Heather, has a really rare muscle disease. It's called myotonia congenita. So people may have seen like the fainting goats that everybody laughs at on Facebook. That's a disease. My sister actually has it. So her muscles contract and get stiff, and literally she could just like fall over. So when she's up and moving and going, she does fine. So like it'll take her, like when she stands up, she takes a minute, she has to move her legs around a little bit to get the muscle flowing because she's got just improper blood flow and stuff. But she's been heavier majority of her life, and we were ballet kids and tap kids, and I cannot get her to do nothing to save my life. Now she does yoga and stuff like that, and I got her to do the 3-day yoga retreat for like one day, but for her, she's just like, yoga for her is totally spiritual, and she's like, this is working out, and she doesn't want to combine the two because it's, for her, it doesn't align herself the way that she's like, it's more working out. So like, I know Elika, it's like but I can't get her to do anything. But so yesterday her son fell, and he had closed the door to the bedroom, and he had fell, and she couldn't get up fast enough to get to him to open the door. And he fell. So she's got a ton of guilt about it. And I'm like, I didn't want to push it on her, but I was just like, this would be a good opportunity for you to start working out and get in better shape. And then she was just real mad at me.
I have totally been there with family before. And it's actually, I'm telling you, it's harder to coach family too. Like it's hard for me to tell my sister what she needs to do. It is not hard for me to tell any of you girls. Like it is like, sometimes it's just because they see you so differently than who you see yourself as now. Like especially if you're the younger sister. And that's kind of tricky as well, because they're like, I'm not going to take advice from my younger sister, so I struggle with that as well. I support my sister though. Like instead of really kind of telling her what to do, I just support her and I make her feel super loved. That's one thing that I just really focus on with my sister. And my sister's actually going through a lot right now. And so she really needs that support and love. And one thing I would say for your sister, nutrition. Maybe she can't get up and work out, but maybe you could start helping her like shed some of those pounds, that initial weight, just by stepping up her nutrition game, or maybe even just getting her on Shakeology if she can take that.
That's where, and that was her other thing too. She's like, well, Shakeology is so expensive and I don't even know anything about this. And I was like, boom, here's a good correlation. How much do you love that new Zac Efron show? He is the co-creator of Shakeology. And she was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. So people who question it, I'm like, but you be watching Zac Efron all day.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the thing. She's an emotional eater, and she has been since she was little. There was a lot of trauma in our childhood, whatever. Literally, as soon as it happened, she went to the kitchen and made 3 batches of lemon bars. And I was like, what are you doing to yourself? Stop doing that. This is a reaction to something that you need to flip in a different way. Instead, have a piece of fruit. And it's just, and my encouragement isn't soft or nice whatsoever. I just don't know how to do that.
It is tricky, especially with your family, because you just want to be freaking straight with them. Like you're like, can I just cut the bullshit and be straight with you? And it's hard though, because you almost kind of have to coddle them a little bit more because of all the background of like your life. It's a little different. So one, educate her. She just needs to be educated. 2, look into 2B mindset for her. 2B mindset is wholly surrounded by emotional and guilt-free eating. And so it's not going to like the portion control, that word in itself, control, can really scare people. Like, oh, they're controlling me. I'm feeling controlled. And a lot of people don't like that feeling. Some people need that feeling. There's a difference. So with 2B mindset, what I would do is, because it doesn't ever stop you from eating, it allows you to understand what to eat when you're hungry, right? Like, and it's always like, drink water. Oh, you're hungry? Okay, we'll have a vegetable. Oh, you're still hungry? Okay, have a protein and then a carb. Oh, you're still hungry? Drink some more water and then eat a vegetable. And it really can help her train her brain of like, maybe I'm emotionally eating, but at least I'm emotionally eating carrots and celery sticks with hummus, right? Like, instead of reaching for lemon bars, like helping her understand that like, you know, food is fuel, not something to like suppress your emotions with. And it's only going to continue that cycle of depression, you know? So I would really help her. I'd like maybe get her on like 2B mindset would be perfect for her. Having her write down everything that goes in her mouth, huge step. Like, it's hard, but like this, or where's my, I think it might be up here, but like they have a 2B mindset like tracker booklet, and it's amazing. Like, it will help you, right here.
The thing is that you say all that, and it's just like, it's with my sister, these are all things that she's like on my ass about with my Crohn's. Like, she bought me a food journal. It was $100, but she won't do it for herself.
Yeah.
She won't for herself. Her husband uses one. And like, I understand the kid falling like the first time. I mean, he split his lip pretty good and had a goose egg. So she was just like full blown panic mode. You know, yeah. I mean, he literally turned a year old. And I'm like, it's going to happen. He's going to eat it a bunch of times. You got a little boy. I'm like, and he's rough. Like, she has fallen downstairs before because she wasn't paying attention. Like, that's kids fall. But she just doesn't, I mean, she is totally on her own agenda because she is aware of things that she should be doing and can do them, and has lost a lot of weight and felt a lot better about herself. It's just, she's in a slump with everything that's going on and is having a hard time pulling herself out of it. And we were doing self-development together, and she's just like, I don't want to have the time. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't have anything but time. Sorry to hijack.
No, I love that, because, and it's so funny because I will tell you, I mean, you guys know I'm on year freaking 5 of coaching, and my sister was the 3rd coach I signed up, right? Like, I love her to death, but she's come in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, like back and forth. And I'm always just like, Nicole, come on. You know, I just want to shake her and like pull her in and just keep her here. A lot of it has to do with the support system on the other side of her. So my sister is actually going through a possible divorce right now. And so the other side of it, she wasn't getting that support from the other side. Like, now, granted, she had my mom and they worked out together, but she was eating like a power lifter and wanted to lose weight. And I'm like, well, you can't do that, you know? And so it was a real struggle for her, like in the household, because her husband was a power lifter and she wanted to be lean and fit. And it was like, they were eating the same though, and it just wasn't working, you know? And then there was some mental abuse in my mind, from that side as well, that really kept my sister in that mindset. And so maybe double check what is happening, you know, like who else is speaking to her. Hey, I'm talking. Can you say excuse me? Yeah, actually, we need to get some breakfast. Why don't you grab the strawberries in there? Or some yogurt.
I'll have strawberries and chips.
No chips.
Yeah.
Okay, go get some yogurt and then we'll talk. Go get the yogurt and we'll talk afterwards. If you're good, I'll let you have some chips while we do school. Cool? Deal?
Elika, your post, and I get that. Not my mom, but my grandma wants to move out to Florida, and she's a very heavy smoker, and she's had troubles with her memory to the point where she's not allowed to use a stove or anything like that. And my mom Grubhubs and Uber Eats her every single meal of the day, and I'm like, I don't play that in my house. We don't eat that way. And so she's like She's like, well, I want to move out there with you guys. And I'm like, it's going to change. You're going to be
Yeah.
disappointed. That's what you want.
And you know what? Here's my best advice. And the only thing that you can really control is you. So lead by example. Show her the way. And you might have to be consistent for several freaking years before they come on, right? It may take a long freaking time, but you be there, you support them, you continue giving them information, you continue feeding them whatever they need, and you're just there for her. And I think that honestly, just continuous support, regardless of whether she slips up or gains weight or hates herself, like you just continue supporting her in a way that doesn't affect you as well, right? Like I can't take my sister's emotions on. I can't take her life on, but I just sit here and I listen. I talk to her. I support her, and then I try to empower her to say, you're totally capable of doing this. I've seen you do it before. How can I help? What else can I give for you?
Get that with especially, talking about like things that emotionally drain you. And then like, I will do the downward spiral of, if I was still in Indiana, things would be different and I would be able to be there to motivate her. And then I have to go, no, I chose this life for myself because I wanted to be in Florida and I'm happy I made it here. So it's just one of those things where it's like, as much as you want to be supportive, you kind of have to step back. And it's interesting how things have flipped, because when I was trying to get into recovery, she was like, I don't trust you. She was a hard ass on me. And now it's like things are switched for different health reasons. And so it's just like one of those.
Yeah. Which is probably hard for her in a sense too, to be on the other side of it now, and to watch you get your shit together. And she's like, oh, wait, what? Now she's all high and mighty and she just thinks she's going to give me information, And so you just stay very calm, and she may push you away and you just continue being there. You just continue being there and you say, you know what? I'm not giving up on you. I'm your sister. I'm still here. I'm still going to keep motivating you, and I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to continue being here and continue doing this. So that's it. If I had all the answers, I wish I could. It's a hard one. I struggle with it myself, and but I think honestly the best thing is just continuing to support, continuing to give information, and leading by example. And like you said, you can't live your life. Like you can't make her live the life, whatever. She has to choose it for herself. And so you can't really like drag them along. You just go do your thing. And when they're ready and they come to you, you support. That's the best thing I can say. Alicia was reading over here too. And I think it's so hard. Like family, I tell you guys, I would rather coach strangers than I would my family. But I love my family too. And there is something so powerful when you can get your family on board, like your immediate family. Like there were times like where I was coaching and being healthy and Mike was ordering fucking whole cakes. And I was like, what are you doing? And I would just get so mad. And I was just like, but I just continued to be like, Mike, like I don't support that. I'm not eating that. Or it's something like that. And so it's like it can be so frustrating, but then also when Mike jumps on board and he's in it, it's so rewarding. So it's worth sticking around. It's worth continuing to support them. So keep trying, keep being there for them, you guys, really, because they need it, obviously, and you just got to keep sending the love. Just got to keep sending the love. Amanda, go ahead. Which, by the way,
one thing I want to add when it comes to family, it's a different kind of accountability, because you don't want to let your family down. And so that might be some of the problem with their families, with their respective families. They don't want to let them down, and they know that if they start on that with them, then they're going to be held accountable. It's a higher pressure, the accountability, because it's somebody inside of their close circle, and those are the only people that make you feel guilt. So it makes it more difficult. I like it because it's better. I would rather do this with my family than a complete stranger, because but I think that's a big part of it.
I think that's a cool perspective on it too. It's just like, it's true. Like some people really like like I have a girl who's, I'm her coach, and she goes, I love that you know nobody in my life, because I am like her, like I'm like her secret stranger that she can come and like talk to, and like I don't see her in her day, I don't see her in her life, like, and so like she can really talk to me. But then like some people are like, I love that I have you and you see me, and like you hold me accountable. So you just got to kind of find where that person is on their level, and like figure and find a way to, like, maybe the way you coach them isn't the way you coach everybody. I coach a lot of people completely different. Some people like to give the tough love, some people like to give the coddling and support, you know, just totally different. So keep supporting though, keep supporting. That's the best thing I can say. Yep. I do want to get on to chakra talk because we have lots to go over today. So we kind of switched up. I know I was going to go more into Gary Vee, but then I was talking to Elika, and I had asked her like a week or two ago to do some chakra stuff. She's like, I've got it all ready. And I was like, let's go for it. Let's do it. Because I have been waiting. So we have a lot of information. I've got a bunch of stuff to pull up, or I have a bunch of stuff pulled up. And then Elika's going to kind of talk it all. So Elika, you just walk me through what you need pulled up. And hopefully you guys will be able to read it. But I also plan to probably share these maybe like little stuff with all the group and everything too. So we'll talk more about getting family on board maybe, and like more about that. Maybe I'll kind of look up something and get some different ideas, because I think that's still a very important topic that we can go over. So I'm going to pass it to Elika for the rest of the time. We're going to go over chakras, aligning, and energy, and all of that fun stuff. And then just let me know what you need, Elika.
Okay. If you want to pull up the general sheet first. So I got chakras 1 through 6 done. I didn't get to the 7th one with the info sheet. So I will do that today and get it to for her to share. So this first sheet we're going to go over to give you some of my background, I guess, so you guys don't know or don't think that I'm just some schmuck off the street sharing info about chakras. I did a yoga teacher training back in 2016, and it was a really over one of the pieces that I really resonated with, and I kind of ran with. So I've really been learning and enjoying figuring out what our chakras are and how we can impact them. And that's what I'm going to share with you ladies today. So I'm going to share general information about what the heck a chakra is. And then, like I mentioned, there are 7 of them theoretically in our body. And we'll just go over at least the first one. So all the sheets are structured the same. So I would like to definitely at least get through the first one. That way you ladies have an idea of what the headings are and what each, each component means. So if we don't speak on all the chakras today, I don't think we'll have time. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions that might come up. And if there are a lot of questions, I'm happy to speak more on this sometime at a warrior hour if Jenny wants. But okay, so generally, what is a chakra? So chakra is Sanskrit, which is the language that is used in yoga. So it's Sanskrit for wheel. So you can think of a chakra, it's often depicted as like a wheel of energy. So depending on whether energy is flowing in or out, depends on which way this chakra is moving, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, and they're at different points in the body. So it's considered part of our subtle anatomy, which is kind of an unfamiliar term for a lot of people, but subtle anatomy is really like what our energy system is. In the chakra system, it is thought that there are 7 points that run through the mid-center line. So if you take a look over at the picture in the right-hand column, you can see the mid-center line. So they don't necessarily sit on the spine, they sit kind of in the body. You know what I mean? It's like the spine's against the back body, and the chakras are thought to be, kind of sitting in front of that. But they begin, a lot of people, I know when we watched that video last week, the woman speaking spoke about the top chakra, the crown chakra being the first chakra which I thought was really interesting. I had never heard it presented that way before. Chakras develop from the root chakra up. So I have just never heard it said like that before. And she mentioned, you'll hear other people talk about it differently. And that's one thing I've learned about yoga, is that there are a shit ton of different trainings and thoughts and theories and teachings out there. So one of the beautiful things about yoga is that you kind of, can learn and figure out what works best for you. So with those 7 points in the body, they are created by these things called nadis, N-A-D-I. So a nadi, you can think of a nadi in the body. That's I always remember from yoga teacher training. We're all like, ooh, so many nadis in the body. But nadis are energy pathways. So you can see, I think it's, yeah, thank you, Jenny, for highlighting that. So nadis are pathways that the life force energy, which is prana, runs through in the body. So it is thought to have the body has a shit ton of these nadis that run through it. But there are three major ones, and two of them, the Ida and the Pingala, run up the left and the right side of the Sushumna, which is the major center one, where the Ida and the Pingala intersect to make our chakras. So if you look at the picture on the bottom, like towards the bottom, you can kind of see how those lines are intersecting and weaving and making those chakras. So that is the common 7 chakra model. That is where the theory comes from, that we have this, Ida, the Ida nadi is feminine and it's running on the left side. And that is cold and blue and moon and yin and all of the chill. And then Pingala is the male nadi running on the right side of the body. That is red and hot and yang and represents the sun. So where those two opposite energies intersect is the Sushumna in the middle, where those chakras are created. Does that make sense? Kind of, a little. I'm hoping the picture can help the depiction as well. So like I mentioned, typically the root chakra, the one at the bottom, is thought of as the first chakra that develops first. And as you can see, the colors are like the rainbow. So colors are affiliated with each chakra. Start at the bottom with red. The second one is your solar plexus yellow. Your heart is your fourth one, green. Fifth is your throat with the blue. Sixth is your third eye with indigo. And then seventh is crown with like purple. And those are all kind of general guidelines. Like some of the, it's gonna sound crazy, ladies, but you can see your chakras. You can learn to see your chakras when you close your eyes and meditate. And like I've seen a handful of them. I've not seen all of them, but like my heart chakra is not like any of those greens depicted, it's more of like a lime electric green, what I've seen. So again, like, and with the throat and the third eye and the crown being like blue, indigo, and violet, those are like, my crown chakra is like iridescent and sparkly. It's not purple. Like there might be some like periwinkle in it or something, but so just keep in mind that these are kind of like guidelines. And I know that sounds a little crazy, y'all, seeing your chakras. I know it does, but it happens. So those are the main things about like, what is a chakra? As far as what they do, so you can think of chakras as pumping systems for our prana, so for our life force energy. So it helps to dissipate in the body. So it helps your life force energy kind of disappear into your body. It helps absorb into the body, and they help distribute the energy into the body. So they're kind of a three-way system. And like I had mentioned, they spin in 2 different directions. So when you do guided visualizations or meditations on your chakra, you might hear people say, like, you hear it spinning clockwise to make it grow and open and become bigger. And then you can visualize it, spinning counterclockwise to shrink it and make it kind of grow smaller. And they pause during times of like rest and sleep. They're not always running. So why do they matter? So chakras are habits that are programmed like deep inside of us, just like we have, getting up and brushing our teeth is a habit, just like we have emotional habits and thought habits, we have energetic body habits, patterns, you know what I mean? So that's why they're so important, because they are linked, as we'll see in a little bit, they're linked to our organs, to our nervous system, to our development, to so many things. They have a really strong relationship, like I mentioned, to the physical, emotional, and thought function, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And then by using yoga, prana, different exercises, different meditations, visualizations, you can impact those and, you know, kind of figure out how to bring balance to those in your life. And I quote unquote that because I have learned that there is no really such thing as balance. There's just the thing, like finding a balance in the imbalance, because life is always imbalanced in some way. And then I think, yeah. Oh, so again, like I'd mentioned, when the woman that we spoke, or that we heard speak last week, talked about the crown chakra being the first chakra, and I just have never heard it taught that way, because from my understanding, the chakras build upon each other. So the root chakra, the base chakra, is critical, you know, to be able to have a healthy sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, et cetera, et cetera. So as you see here, the lower chakras are related to practical life matters, so like survival, movement, action, and they develop first. And the upper chakras are related more to like the mental realm of words, thoughts, images, and concepts. And then you can see that they develop in childhood and adolescence. So, you know, from conception to birth and into adolescence, and then they start over again when we leave the house, basically, when we start to become a young adult. And they can be stunted by unresolved childhood issues when we come to that adulthood where it kind of restarts. So those are some main ideas, thoughts, insights on chakras. Does anybody have any questions? Thoughts, anything about this stuff so far?
It makes so much more sense to build it from the root up. I mean, I get what I mean, you know, and like she said, so many different other things, but it makes more sense, like mentally, that you would create like a grounding and survival instinct before anything else. Before you could have wisdom, like how can you have wisdom and understanding before you're grounded and surviving, you know? So that makes so much more sense. It didn't even occur to me when she said it, because I didn't know any different. But when you kind of say it like that, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. But it's interesting too to just see how people just learn it and how people know it and how different it can work for her or for you and all that. So I think that's kind of interesting and some noteworthy. And the adult development is stunted by unresolved childhood issues. That just is noted to be repeated, or that is due to, I don't know. It just needed to be repeated.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
we're going next.
So we can move on to the next one. We'll just look at the first chakra. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, actually, will you hop over to the Hasta Mudras real quick? So Hasta Mudra means hand gesture. So mudra is a gesture, means gesture in Sanskrit, and hasta is hand. So when you're doing meditation or breathing practices, or the hasta mudras to hold while you're doing those meditations or visualizations. I'm going to tell you, ladies, like I just pulled this off the internet. I just Googled this and I was like, I like this one. There are a bunch of different images and options. So if this doesn't resonate with you or you don't understand it, you know, feel free to Google and look at ones that might work with you better. But I know she had mentioned hand gestures, or somebody asked about them or something. We talked about it last week. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you all. But Jenny will share this with you ladies too. Okay, let's hop to the first chakra info sheet. All right, so like I mentioned, the first chakra is going to be the one at the bottom. It's going to be right at your base of your spine. Okay, so let's just hop over to the left column. We'll just run down. So the name is Muladhara, or root chakra. The element that it's linked with is earth, which makes sense. You're rooting and grounding. The color is red, like I mentioned. It builds up like the rainbow. Location is the base of spine. The purpose is for foundation and self-preservation. Identity is physical, basic right to be here and to have. The demon associated with it is fear. And the developmental stages are the second trimester to 12 months. Did I freeze? I'm frozen. Can you hear me? Okay, good. I have really crappy internet, so if I do freeze, I apologize, ladies. And I just wanted to pop in there. I got most of this information. I did get a lot of it online, but I got a lot of it from this book that I got in my yoga teacher training that I'll share with you all. It's a big fatty, but it's called Eastern Body, Western Mind. So it talks a lot about the chakras and how we as Westerners carry those chakras and develop them and everything. So if anybody's interested in this, it's a good thick read. But that's where all of this initial information comes from as far as the developmental stages and balance characteristics and things like that. So when you have a balanced first chakra, some personal characteristics that you might have, you might be in good health, you might be well grounded, you'll be able to relax and be calm and still. You'll have an overall feeling of safety and security. So just think about what is rooted and grounded: trees, mountains, you know, like, and what do those things bring to us? A sense of sturdy and strength and calm. So really, you know, when I think of first chakras, I really think of literally a tree's roots growing into the ground. So with these developmental stages, there can be traumas that we experience through growing up that can impact them. So some trauma might be birth trauma, you know, experience any physical neglect or abandonment, if you have poor parental bonding, any of those things coming at the very first stages of life, malnourishment, inherited traumas from parents. So we actually, like, a lot of the chakras are, I didn't put that in every one, but it shows up in a lot of the chakras where we can actually inherit a lot of trauma that we bring into our lives just from our parents unintentionally. So those are things that I just was never even aware of, you know, until you know, when you reflect on your own issues of like, why am I like this? What have I experienced? Some of these things are beyond, you know, our control initially. It doesn't mean that they're beyond our control to manage. It just means maybe they're, you know, we kind of get what we're served. So the next section is deficiency and excess. So if you are deficient, if you're deficient in a first chakra energy, that's where the first, so you might be underweight, you might have poor boundaries or financial difficulty, a disconnection from your body, and you might have resentment. And if you have an excessive amount of energy, root chakra energy, you might be obese, you might have rigid boundaries, you might experience sluggishness or laziness, impatience. So, you know, there is, you can have too much of a good thing or too less of a good thing, really. So if you feel like you are in deficiency or excess with any of your chakras, I share healing practices with you. And please just keep in mind, like, yoga and breathing are always a healing practice to help kind of get your chakras back in balance. There are a lot of other things we can do depending on what chakra it is, but please keep in mind that, like, learning how to do some pranayama breath practice and learning how to do some asanas, some yoga postures. You know, you don't have to go seek out psychotherapy or dance therapy or any of that stuff. You know, you can learn how to manage this stuff on your own with support and help from people who kind of know what they're talking about. So for healing practices for your root chakra, you want to really try to reconnect with your body. So whatever that might mean to you, maybe it's doing physical activity, maybe it's taking walks, maybe it's getting massages, maybe, you know, you didn't have that physical contact as a child, so maybe it's something that you do hug therapy, you know what I mean? And really reclaiming the right to be here. So your root chakra, if you feel like this is not your place, that you shouldn't be here, that you don't have a right, that is really a root chakra issue. And so as far as affirmation, it's going to resonate with different affirmations. So an affirmation is something you can repeat over to yourself when you're doing a meditation or just throughout your day. If you find yourself maybe wandering in thought that is not productive and helpful, or you're, you know, just daydreaming and you want to maybe invest a little bit more of your time to have intentional growth while you're taking a walk with your dog or while you're doing your dishes. So I'm not going to run through all these affirmations on all these chakras just because that would take too long. But again, I really want to encourage you to read through them and find some that resonate with you, and be explorative with them, be playful with them. Like, just because it says I belong doesn't mean you have to say I belong. Maybe it's I create belonging. You know, maybe it's I belong in my space. You know, you can add on to it. So just keep in mind, because I know a lot of people generally get stuck on the fact of like, I have to do it just like it said, or do it like I'm told. And that's not the case. Like, you got to find what's going to work for you. So, you know, feel free to kind of play and be creative with these affirmations. But just throwing through them, you know, I am centered, ground, open to possibilities, I release doubts and fears, really anything focusing on, you know, strengthening your grounding and your conviction to be here. Does anybody have questions on all that stuff before I go on to the next stuff yet? Cool. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm an educator, so I really like to check for understanding all the time. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anybody familiar with that? Yeah. Cool. All right. So moving on. So like I had mentioned, chakras are related to everything in our body. So organs, glands, bones, etc. So some things that are in the body, what organs and things are connected to the body. So like the root chakra is at the bottom. That's where the reproductive system is. It's connected to our kidneys. It's related to our spinal column. And then as far as the glands, I actually got conflicting resources for the first chakra and the second chakra of the gonads or adrenal glands. So those are related to the first or second chakra. I, you know, read conflicting information. Like I mentioned earlier, and like that woman mentioned last week, people are like, yoga is a little bit of a mystic practice, and there are a lot of different, you know, theories and thoughts and studies out there. So I personally just always take the approach of, I'm going to present you with all the information I know, and you choose what fits you best, and you can go research more things if you want. Looking at the yoga or poses. So poses always has asana at the end. So Tadasana, Malasana, Janusarasana, they all have asana at the end. So an asana is a physical posture, just so you know, a physical yoga pose. So some yoga poses that would be really great to help cultivate your root chakra is Tadasana or mountain pose. Malasana or yogic squat, Janusarasana, head to knee forward fold, sitting on the ground. Baddha Konasana, butterfly or cobbler's pose, Balasana, child's pose, and Savasana, corpse pose. And like I mentioned, you'll also see these asanas repeated a couple, you know, with some of the other chakras. But those are, again, ladies, if you don't like some of those poses, or you're not feeling those, or you don't know what the heck those are, there are a bunch out there to Google or Pinterest or whatever, YouTube videos, all kinds of really great things to help get a bigger library of what poses might help with the root chakra. And I'm also happy to provide more too. I wanted to provide crystals, because I know we had mentioned crystals and some ladies are interested in that. So some crystals that help, you know, get the root chakra going or relate to the root chakra. Alien, I think is what it's called. I'm going to say some of these wrong probably, because I'm not a crystals kind of gal. Brown and red jasper, black tourmaline, bloodstone, obsidian, garnet. So those are the ones that popped up. So think red, deep, rich colors to help with your root chakra. And what the heck do I do with this crystal then, right? Like, I got this crystal to help my root chakra. What am I doing with it now, Elika? You can do a bunch of different things. You can meditate with it. You can have it in your pocket and just carry it with you to help energize it and kind of put your juju on it. That's what they recommend doing with like mala beads, if you have a mala necklace. You can put it in water and drink the water, and I've heard there are a lot of really powerful things in doing that. I think Kristen's into crystals, so she might be able to give some more information on that, but it's also something that you can maybe just meditate on, you know, or use as a kind of a grounding mechanism. So as far as foods go, there are foods that can help cultivate grounding and that relate to our root chakra. Again, with any of the foods we talk about, like think the color, you know, for one thing. So anything red is going to help. Root veggies, which makes sense, anything coming from the ground, and spicy foods are actually going to help cultivate your root chakra. So something that I've noticed is that I eat predominantly food colors of the chakra that I need unintentionally. Like I will be going to town on blue foods and be like, God, I cannot get enough like blueberries or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, well, that makes sense to me because I'm having a really hard time, expressing my voice and my vision. So that's something that or clothes, like I've noticed, I took a picture the other day and I had all blue on, like on accident. So that's just something that I have noticed that I just unintentionally gravitate towards clothing that I need to work on with my chakra or food. So I just encourage you ladies, now that this is kind of on your radar, to maybe just start noticing. And it's nothing to judge, it's nothing to criticize. It's really truly just kind of another opportunity to get in tune and get in check with yourself. And then the last piece of information that I'm going to share with you is pranayama. So that's like breath control practice that I've mentioned before, how prana is our life force. So in yogic practice, that is thought to be, the main thing we're working with, the main thing keeping us going is prana. So to do breath practices is super helpful to help with our chakra balancing. So doing deep belly breathing, which makes sense, just kind of help trigger and initiate that energy center in the lower belly. And then as far as like inhales and exhales, so like I mentioned before, the bottom chakras are there to like kind of root and ground. And if you want to, try to cultivate more grounding or bring more of that energy into your life, doing exhale focus breath practices. So that means exhaling for a count of 5 and inhaling for a count of 2. Holding the exhale for a count of 5 and not holding the inhale at all. So the main focus is that you would be putting more effort into the exhale retention or length versus the inhale retention or length. And so that's for the bottom chakras, and for the top chakras, it's opposite. You want to put more focus on your inhale retention and length. Check how we're doing. 15 minutes. Okay, so that is the structure of all of the rest of the sheets for the rest of the chakras. Before I move on, I'm just going to talk through the rest of them. I think we'll get through a few more. Does anybody have thoughts for, like, I know women have had some thoughts pop into their mind, or some questions or some observances over the past 15 minutes I've been chatting. So does anybody have anything? Any just like, what the hell is this lady talking about, or anything like that?
So I'll share, you were talking about the crystals. A lot of people charge that you woo for you. A lot of people believe in charging their chakra crystals under new moons and full moons. And then they have that water. They make lemonades or tinctures with flower petals as well of the colors of the chakras to help absorb throughout their bodies. So that's one of the ways that people really charge those crystals, with moonlight and things like that.
That's so fun. Jenny, can we do a crystal charging party someday?
I was just literally about to say, when's the next new moon? I know that there's a full moon on August 2nd.
I think it's tonight.
Is there a new moon tonight? I literally was just Googling it because I think there's a new moon. Okay, wait, let me go back. So this is August. It's August, right? August? So August 19th. So
tomorrow.
So tomorrow technically is a new moon, but we don't have any crystals yet. So how would I do have like some rocks. Like I have, hold on, I can't really. Like I have like a couple of things, but this is like more of like you can't see it. This is more of like a gold. And then I have like a couple, like, you guys can't really see them, but this is like a purple. So I don't have like real crystals, but I do have some.
Well, you can still charge the water under the moonlight and then absorb it into your system. And then you can decide to think about those chakras. You don't have to have the crystals necessarily. And crystals can get really, really, really pricey. I have like a root chakra crystal. It'll take me a minute to find it. It was $400. I mean, I have pillar crystals around my house in different places and in Annie's room, and some of them are really expensive. So be careful going down that rabbit hole.
And they're also pretty. So I'm sure it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole, honestly.
Once you start, I'm sure you're probably like like, oh, but this one's pretty and this one and this one. But I would definitely be down to do some sort of like new moon or full moon charging, or maybe even like yoga session if you're interested. I know in August there is a full moon on the 3rd. Maybe we could even maybe do like a chakra aligning yoga session or something like that. So that would give you some time to maybe put something together for us, Elika. Or maybe we can do something like that. I mean, I would totally be down to kind of keep bringing this back. Oh, I see crystals.
Oh, wow.
Wait, Kristen the Crystaler. No, or I don't know. I was trying to think of like a like a little nickname for you. I love it.
Did you say the Crystaler? You're funny.
Hey, excuse me.
What time is it? Yeah, I would totally be down for that, Jay. So if you wanna, oh, that's so pretty, Kristen. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love them. I've never seen them carved. Like I've just seen them raw. You know what I mean?
So a little bit of background for me. My family is, my mother grew up very pagan. So my family practiced herbal witchcraft, if you will, my whole life. Passed down through, like my grandma's first generation Italian, Sicilian. So I grew up with all of this stuff for a long time.
That's awesome. When are you doing your warrior hour chat then? I want to learn from you, girl.
We could definitely go over a lot of herbal remedies and stuff like that. I was telling Jenny, she's with me, so it's like I actually started recently doing a new herbal greenhouse to do like bath salts and soaks, also related to the chakras and the crystals to help heal body and keep everything together during quarantine, especially. Plus, there's going to be Mercury retrograde soon, and I turn into a psychopath.
We all turn psychopath. That is no bueno.
I
Yeah.
hate retrograde. Like, hate retrograde. It just sends me for a freaking loop. Actually, maybe just maybe even like referencing like what retrograde is would maybe be like a really great thing if like, you know, because there might be some girls that have. I mean, I honestly did not know what Mercury in retrograde was until just a couple years ago. Like, so it was never something that I had really known all my life. But then it's like one of those things, once you learn it and know it and begin to kind of understand how it affects you specifically, it's like undeniable. It's so powerful because you can recognize it a little bit easier, and then you can do things, you know, like on the crystals and the teas and the meditation, and you can help yourself center and get through it. That's what I love about it, because if you don't know, you feel crazy, right? Like, I mean, you just feel, what is wrong with me? Why am I feeling so erratic? Why am I feeling so crazy, you know? But once you start to be like, okay, I know this is coming, let's prepare for it, let's know that I'm not making any big life decisions for the next 6 weeks, or, you know, stuff like that. Like, you have to maybe kind of be prepared for it. The more you can prepare for it, the better I think that you can just like make it through. And I think
Use a ton of oils during retrograde. So one of my favorite things that I found you can actually get on Amazon is a card diffuser. You put it in where your air conditioner spot is, and you soak these little felt tabs in essential oils. So you can also get them in chakra colors. So literally you can soak them with oils associated with the color or smell that helps you maybe get through your day, whether it's lavender mint, vanilla or whatever it is. But oils are something that people always say, oh, well, this one works for this and this one works for this. And that's not how oils work. Some of them work unanimously, but a lot of them, everybody, just like medicines or anything else, your body absorbs and takes in things differently based on your pheromones for that day, literally for that day, which is why some people are attracted to you during different times of your days, not just when you're on your period or this or that, like sweating. Men are extremely attracted to some women when they're sweating. So there's different things that medicinal herbs and oils help your body with during certain times, and everybody's different, and literally it's a day-to-day thing. I literally put different oils on Annie and I depending on what's going on that day and how reactions are to things. And you can tell with oils really quickly as well.
That's really interesting.
So much info. Like literally endless info. And it's such a different perspective, you know, like we can think of like Beachbody as like, hit all your workouts, do the personal development. Okay, but there's so much more to you, right? Like there's so much more to you that can help you through life. And I just think that like the more I know and understand different things that can help me, why wouldn't I want to learn on them? I didn't even think about essential oils. Like we kind of skipped right over that even when we were talking about that. And that's a really good one to maybe talk about and reference as well, because I know like I have, so every day before I get to Warrior Hour, I have a focused blend that I had a friend make me, and it's wild orange and peppermint, and it just literally brings me to life. Like I put it right behind my ears, on the back of my neck, and it just like literally like it just awakens me like every morning when I use it. And there's like all different kinds of like combinations that you can do. So if Kristen or Elika, if you guys want to like tag team something,
Explain some of that oil to you while we're talking about it, just so you guys can kind of get the gist of how oils work. So tell me what's in that oil again. You said lemon, peppermint, and orange.
it's
Or lavender.
wild orange and peppermint.
Okay, wild orange and peppermint. So wild orange and peppermint. So it's interesting that you say that it awakens you and makes you feel alive. A lot of times when you wake up, you like, especially if you wake up and your body's exhausted, for example, you wake up actually, hold on please, at high stress. Sorry, she's obsessed with my crystals. Welcome to my child. That's why they were hidden. But so peppermint, and especially like sweet orange or blood orange, if you will, actually helps pull antioxidants out of your system. Peppermint helps do that. That's part of what relieves headaches and stress. So when you wake up and your body's already exhausted or you're sore, it helps relieve you, which is why you feel actually ready to go. So that's like literally some oils, like, so peppermint hits actual pressure points, if you will, in your body. So pressure points behind your ears and stuff like that actually absorbs in through. So when you put oils directly onto your skin, and some people ingest them, and it's like, people say that you can't put oils on kids. That's a lie. You can put oils on kids. You just need to dilute them properly. So she uses oils from the minute that she wakes up, from the minute that she goes to bed, because it helps her. We have one's for snotty noses and focused energy, and we have like, and I buy a lot of my oils from a company that's called Plant Therapy. It's not MLM. You don't have to have a membership to use it. You can literally buy them on Amazon, and they're quality products. I've actually been to a couple of their facilities to do research on them, because I'm a huge supporter of the environment, and I want to make sure that they're actually getting their oils properly. I used to use Young Living, and then I had a huge problem with them when there was several lawsuits about the way that they were getting their oils and actually hurting. They were harvesting plants too much to the point of extinction, and that was a problem for me. So do your research on the things that you put on your body too, because I have guilt about things like that.
Well, and that kind of even leads me into like, I just actually got my first jar of CBD finally, like, and that's something that I think that we could even go into as well, like the benefits of CBD oil and like just the new research about it and things like that. So I haven't actually tried it. I have had CBD water before, and I love it. I used to get it from this place down in the Keys. They would sell CBD water, and it would always just like chill me out. Like I was just like, yay, life.
Because my Crohn's, so I can also go to the shop and pick you up some balms and stuff like that. I actually pick up their tinctures and make my own balms and stuff.
So I'll show you. Oh,
Wait,
you're not eating chips.
can I tell you something? I will not eat it all.
So it's like just this, it's just this. So I thought maybe I could like make things with it. Yeah, like make like some balms with it, or like, I don't know, but like I'm totally down for like whatever you guys can spit my way about it. No, I'm not eating chips. No, I don't want any. Just kidding.
Yeah, I just love being chill because Papa got me some in the way park. And I get wonky donkeys and I crazy.
Yeah, you do get crazy.
Yeah, so I love being crazy.
You're funny, dude. But yeah, so I like would totally be down to like what do I do with this? You know, like do I put it in my coffee? Do I put it in like my oil blend? Like, can I just put some in like my focused blend? Like, I honestly have no idea.
I'm gonna come over to your house and do a warrior hour so I can use you as an example.
Okay. Yeah.
And Alicia, you can get CBD with extremely low percentages of THC so it doesn't register in your system. My sister uses it and she works for a government position sometimes, so they test her. So there is options for you, and she's in Indiana, so I can get her connected with you if you want.
So much, right? Like once you open the box, it just like exposes so much more. Elika, I'm so sorry, we've only gotten to like number 1. But it might be worth maybe doing another day if you're interested in just like carrying this on tomorrow. Dear Michael.
It's totally up to you, ladies. I do have to pop off because I have a 9:15 meeting I have to get to. But I mean, I've got, you know, I've got 5 of the other chakras done. I'll have the other one done in 10 minutes. But I'm happy to keep just reading through the sheets with you ladies tomorrow if that's of interest to you. Or if you just want the information, like Jenny, share it. You know what I mean? I'm super happy to do whatever.
I'm thinking both. Like share the information, but still go over it, because I feel like almost like you were rushed because we were like talking in the beginning, and then now we kind of like talked about more, but I feel like there's more that needs to be talked about, and that could really be broken down, right? Like, okay, so we just brought up CBD, but like, what is it? Why is it? What is it good for? You know, how can we use it? Something, is it right for you? And then like all the other oils, like there's so many essential oils, and I think that they can all be tied into their chakras as well. So the more we can understand our chakras, the more we can understand how to help them, the more we can understand how to balance them. And I think it's worth addressing more.
Yeah.
And again,
I'm happy to talk again tomorrow. No problem.
Okay, let's to be continued tomorrow from here. Do some research, and let's like maybe even all bring information or questions, right? Like maybe you have questions about oils, or you're looking for a specific answer, or saying, hey, I really do struggle with this chakra, so how can I align this one specifically? So come with specific questions, or like even like Kristen and Elika, maybe like do some extra research to say, hey, I really found this and I really thought this was great to share with you guys. This is a guide on a quick guide on essential oils, or a quick guide on CBD. Like maybe we could just find some information and come tomorrow and just like share and tell if you guys are interested in that. And then, but we'll start off Elika with like the different chakras and kind of continue talking about that. But yeah, there's just like so much, and I feel like it needs more time, and we do whatever we want. So we make the schedule, right? Like there's no, like we just kind of go with it. And I just feel like this needs more time. And I knew that even when we talked about it last time, that I wanted to talk about it more. So maybe that now is just a good time to continue that. So let's do that. We'll push like all the Gary Vee stuff to next week, and we'll just continue all of this tomorrow. Does that sound good? Let me stop. I'm going to stop screen sharing, and I'll just pull all this up tomorrow. I didn't get to really see the chat over here. Oh yeah, CBD gummies. Can I like make those myself? Like, I just wanted to know, like, can I do all this stuff myself?
You can make them yourself. To be honest, I order my CBD gummies from Groupon.
Really?
And they're magic. I freaking love them. They're like, you remember creamsicles back in the day, like the little candies?
Yeah.
That's what they're gummies.
Well, because like I was even like making like blueberry muffins for Mike last night, and I was like, can I just put CBD in this? Like, can I just like bake it?
A lot of times you can. You can do it. I put it in my coffees and in my teas. I just don't usually post it. Some people are weird about CBDs and marijuana and stuff, but I'm not. I like herbal So
I just always think that, like, the more natural I can be, the better. Like, I am like not about taking medications or like anything like that, but anything that can help me naturally control my emotions or my anxiety or my stress level, like, the better for me is how I feel.
together.
So, yeah, so we'll have to, Kristen, hopefully you see that question. I think Lindsay had asked what brand that you use for essential oils.
It's plant therapy is what it's called.
I'm writing that down.
Mom.
So they actually have an entire kid safe line as well. So literally I don't even mix, like I mix my own oils for me, but most of Annie's, let me prop this up. Most of Annie's come like pre-mixed and then I just put them in roller balls. So like this one is literally like when you're out, it's called Sniffle Stop. All the kid safe ones will say kid safe, but like this one is called Calming the Child. And this is like when Annie's going through retrograde, this is what I put on her. It really brings her down and resets her. She'll sit and meditate and do breathing, and it relaxes her enough to do that. But when we're doing schoolwork, I sit down, we put, this is called A+ Attention, and I put that on her. And we sit down and we read, and it helps her focus. There's just, I mean, there's just different things. There's immune boosters that are kid safe that I put in the diffuser once a day. There's all kinds of stuff. There are ones for bedtime with your husband called Love Vanilla. Put that in the diffuser on afterwards. Hey, everybody likes to get that. But literally there's all kinds of ones. So like I was really, I loved Thieves from Young Living. And when I switched over after that, Plant Therapy has one that's called Germ Fighter, and it's essentially the same thing. They also have a full line of CBD, like face care and body care as well. That is essential oil based. So there's all kinds of options for you. And I love that company. And they're not off the wall, outlandish expensive. If you look at them comparatively price wise, they're really on point.
There's so much. Okay, so Plant Therapy, is that what you said it was? Plant Therapy. Okay, I'm gonna go on there, and you said there was like a child line too, or child. Awesome. Woo, so much information. I love it. And I'm all about peppermint. Peppermint is my favorite freaking essential oil. Like I literally, peppermint scalp massages, I used to do those when I massage people. And I do them to myself. Like I'll sit and just massage peppermint oil into my scalp. And it's really good for my dreads too, because it just feels good, like in between my dreads, because I don't really like wash my hair that much. And so, it feels like my head will just, like, you guys ever had that biofreeze feeling, that real cooling feeling? It's kind of like that, but for like your head, and it just like gives you this sense of like, oh, it's beautiful. If you ever have a migraine or headache or something like that, or people ever come in with like sinus pressure in their head, I will massage them with like a peppermint oil, and I'll massage like their temples and like all in here, and then in their occipitals, which is like right behind where it's where your traps come up, and you could kind of feel the ridge in the back of your head. If you ever feel back there, that's your occipitals right there, and you can feel those big muscles that come up and attach in the back of your neck. We get a lot of pain there a lot of times, like if you're sitting on a computer, if you're on your phone, you go, oh my gosh, my head. And what you can do is take a little bit of peppermint oil on your fingertips and hold that spot and lean back and breathe. And it can actually, it's a nice little pressure point, trigger point that can help release all of that as well. So I can even kind of bring in some of my massage stuff, and we can talk like you can do different pressure points. Like there's one right here in your hand. There's several ones in your feet that you can do. And there's different places. This is one of my favorite ones. It's right here. So in your pec, right underneath your collarbone, about 4 fingers down from your collarbone right here, there's a pressure point, and it's a reset button. It's a Chinese traditional pressure point, and it's right here, and you just hold it and you breathe. And I could feel mine right now is like literally screaming at me, which means I obviously need a reset in my body. And so it's just something like, if you ever feel like your anxiety is lifting, I'll take a little bit of peppermint oil, I'll hold my I forget what it's called, I have to look it up what it's called, but it's right here, and you just hold it, and you can do both sides, and it's like a great little spot that you can kind of get release from. But, you know, I think all of our powers combined, we should be like stacked, right? Like
work that in with your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right? Exactly. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm moving. Now I'm going. Now I'm breathing. Like, I love that. And you can start, we can start pulling in, like, how can we use our personal development and then a natural remedy to help our bodies reset, reconnect, and ground ourselves and root ourselves. And I think, like, sometimes you just have to be open to it. Right? Like, that's the thing, is like just being open to something different, being open to something a little maybe woohoo-y, you know, if you want to say that. But I think the moment you're open to it and you start using it and you start applying it, you're going to go, oh, it really is helping. It really does make a difference. And I'm really glad that I tried it. Right? And if there's a point where you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this, this is stupid, then you try something else, right? You move on. Maybe it's not your thing. Maybe your body isn't connecting that way. That's totally fine too. So, but you'll never know unless you just go for it and just try it. Right? All right, ladies, I'm going to let you guys go. I got a couple things I got to do before I start homeschooling today. I have an awesome science experiment for Derek. He doesn't know it yet, but I can't wait to do it. I will show you guys later. I'm going to do a little video of it, I think. So hopefully it works the way that I think it will. But yeah, other than that, I will let you guys go. By the way, Lindsay, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I love Oh, Derek says hello.
Hi guys. Thanks for giving me a shout out. I'm sorry I was like all over the place trying to clean while you guys were talking, but I really enjoyed this talk. This was great.
Today is science.
Today is science.
Yeah, because you said that.
No, we love you. I saw your face and I was like, Lindsay. I was so excited. I guess when people kind of jump back on or like just try to jump on when they can. So I totally get it. Sometimes life is crazy, but I love it that you guys still like make an effort to kind of come on whenever you can. I appreciate it. Are you in a camper right now? Are you camping?
I am. No, we have a couple campers, and I started an LLC, so I'm renting them out, and so, like I have like 3 houses that I'm constantly cleaning, and mine's the very last one that actually gets done. Go figure, right?
That's right. I totally forgot that you did that. That's right. I remember you telling me to rent them out.
Yeah, that's where I've been. I feel like I've been swamped this summer, very bogged down, and we've done a lot of like everybody's camping right now. Apparently everybody's got the same idea to get out of town in a camper. So we do a lot of deliveries and stuff. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is food for my soul.
Yeah. Good, right? Like, I guess I would rather you complain that you've been so busy with renting them out than being like, nobody's camping, nobody's renting them, you know, like, right. It's a good problem to have.
That's true. That's totally true.
Oils.
I know, for
like,
real.
Yourself.
I'm going to try that plant-based one. I've used Young Living, but they're so pricey, and I didn't realize some of the things that Kristen was saying. So I really appreciate all of that info, honestly.
Yeah. Agreed. Because I've heard a lot about Young Living as well. And like, I know it's like the popular choice, you know, sometimes, which to me, sometimes the popular choice is like not my go-to.
Right.
I was pretty upset because I was a pretty faithful backbone of them. I have spent a lot of money. And when I really got into doing research about the companies and actually had the opportunity, when I started buying the plant therapy stuff, they actually invited me out to one of their outsourced, one of their greenhouses. I actually got to see their dilution process, and I was just like, "Ooh!" The fact that they, you can't go into Young Living's sites at all.
No,
they don't allow people to tour anymore since their lawsuits, and they actually have another one that's currently pending. So within the last 6 days. So, but going and seeing plant therapies and then being so open and offering products and try this, take this home, give this to your, try this with your children, try this with your dog, was a huge thing for me. I mean, we bathe havoc with essential oils as well, especially after, he had his bout and fell and hurt his back. So CBD for him too.
Yep. I know. I want to get CBD gummies for my Misha because she gets like severe anxiety. Especially she loves being in the car, but she gets a lot of anxiety in the car. And we've heard that you can get like CBD gummies to help her like just remain calm. So I've been wanting to do that too.
Her dog food.
Can I do that with this? This is the same?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm just going to do that. I'm about to feed her right after this. She'll be sleeping all day. Perfect.
The first time I gave that to Havoc, it was not a downing effect. So just like with anything else, he was, puppy jets back and forth all over. And I think that's just because it made him feel good. His back didn't hurt. So he was like invincible. So be careful.
I probably have too much energy now. All right, ladies. Well, let's go ahead and cut it off today, and we'll continue talking about it tomorrow. And Krista, if you want to like gather some information while you're hanging today, or if you have some time, and Derek wants everybody to do a heart, so I'll do heart hands. Yay! Look, see, you got hearts all over the place.
Yeah.
You happy?
Oh.
That's so
One
cute.
hand at a time.
What? Oh, those are like just your fingers? That's awesome. All right. You want to say goodbye to the girls?
Sure. And
All right.
this one.
All right, ladies. Have a good day. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll talk more essential oils and crystals and chakras and all that fun stuff.
Crystal, and I love crystal.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.